Hey everybody, welcome to the Ronline Report. This is our review of the Prague Pro, the EVLS Prague Pro from Prague, Czech Republic. Joining us is one of the greatest coaches on this earth or any other earth. He had 2 out of the top 3, including the winner in the Open, all the way from Las Vegas. Please welcome Milos the Mind Sarcev. Hey, Milos.
Hey, good to see you, Ron. Again, you see me after sleepless night. As this European shows, it's like 8-hour difference. And I was up all night, of course. First, you have to prepare the guys going into the prejudging. Then you have to see the prejudging, and then you have to stay after prejudging for the finals. So another sleepless night, but it was all worth it. Again, I have another guy that qualified for Mr. Olympia. I cannot be happier for Samson. I mean, I followed his journey now. This was his 4th consecutive show. And as you remember, back in the day, I competed pretty much every weekend. Yeah. Now, Regan competed 4 times in 4 weeks. Wow. And if you just think about, he went from Canada to Florida, Florida to Vegas, Vegas to Reno, Reno to Germany, Germany to Dubai, Dubai to Egypt, Egypt to Prague in a matter of 4 weeks. And working the booth and filming and everything else. So great job. I really hope. I didn't talk to him yet. I'm going to speak to him after this wrap up. Yeah. I think we're going to shut down the season, because it was actually kind of visible today. I was hoping he can pull it off. He wasn't at his absolute best. So you and I reviewed the judging score sheets, right? Yeah. And I was carefully watching, obviously. Prejudging, there was, for me, no question between Samson and Regan. Really? This is how I saw it. Okay. And score sheet later revealed it. The Samson had 3 points straight across the board, first places, and Regan had 6 points, which is straight second places. Yeah. For people that don't know how judging is, if you have 5 or 7 judges, 2 highs and 2 lows are not being counted, so the middle 3 are being accounted for. So when you see the score sheets 3, 6 points, that means clearly that every judge saw Regan second after the prejudging. And if you saw in the prejudging, as he was number 1, step on the stage, he was very, very good, close to his conditioning in Egypt, but as the contest went on, he was sweating, and both Samson and Regan told me that there was super hot lights. They were just like, and I've been before in situations that I even remember a funny story in Hungary, '97, exactly when they had X, when you're supposed to go there and stand on it, it was just like a burning, frying pan. And I remember when Nassar Sabati went there, he started jumping, like dancing, because it was impossible to stand on it. So, when you look at prejudging, I would say this: Nathan Diasha was, for me, in the best condition of a season. Yeah. So he kind of puts things in perspective. He was winning these shows in not as good condition as he was today. And after prejudging, both him and Rafael Brandao had 11 points. So there was super close between them, 11 points each. And Rolly had 18. So Rolly Winkler, who beat Samson in San Marino, that everybody that has anything to do with bodybuilding and have just slight little knowledge would say that this was a highway robbery, that this should have never happened. Right. But it happened, so now at least Samson had a chance for redemption. But those after the prejudging, we had Samson clearly winning and Regan clearly in a second, even though Fuad and Melissa, and I think Ian was also watching, didn't see it that way. Ian said that going into the show, he saw Regan winning, but he didn't really impress as much as the other show. And I'm going to tell you, because I closely watch him. When you travel and you do this carb depletion, carb loading, so you completely empty and then completely loaded, super compensate. After a couple of shows, your body becomes much more efficient to hold, but also to empty as well. So he got much fuller, much quicker this time. I didn't need to even load him that much. But then as he loaded up, and yesterday it was quite good. And 2 hours before prejudging, if you see, I posted on Instagram, he was in phenomenal condition. He started sweating under those lights, and then he went backstage, wipe off the sweat, but wipe off the collar as well. So now he had no collar, no oil, and it was fading. And even in this kind of condition, he was still placing second by judges. So that would tell you probably his perfect structure. If you talked about it, you said last time you asked me a question, why some people don't see him as a most aesthetic guy with a great future.
Right.
I was saying before, maybe size. Now we managed to create that illusion so people don't talk about the size. He has the width. He has everything. He was losing a fullness, and the only place you can see it is really his chest. And Fuad and Ian clearly, obviously, know what they're talking about. They saw it, fading.
Yeah, they did. I'm sorry to interrupt, but how do you justify? I don't have any horse in this race. I'm a fan of all the guys. I don't even talk to Nathan. I'd love to interview him again soon. But how do you have Nathan Dashley in fourth? I kid not. I thought he was fighting with Samson for the win. Honestly, he looked great. I know he's got a long torso. He's got, everyone's got some kind of issue, whatever it is. But I had him first or second. I couldn't see him any lower than second. I'm going
to ask you, Ron, why didn't you see him lower than second?
Raphael,
you just said
okay.
He has a long torso, right?
Yeah.
So long torso is visible in any frontal poses.
Right.
Okay. He stands like this with the bow legs that it creates even a bigger illusion of the longer torso and shorter legs. And it doesn't really look appealing in many of those poses. I'm going to be first one to tell you, we get spoiled when somebody starts winning and they say, okay, he's now untouchable. For me, Samson could have beat him in both shows, not just one. But clearly, he was beating him in Honor Classic prejudging, and then judges saw Nathan as second. So it's kind of, when we analyze and we look at something and we expect, Nathan was better today than in any other shows this year, the 3 shows that he won, for me.
Yeah.
But it was not enough. You see, now they're considering everything else, structure, height, width, little things, conditioning, presentation, all that stuff. I must say that, I'm devastated for Regan. He started fading, and then he got, what was it, 12 points. So he was 12 points at the finals, and he lost by 1 point to Rafael. That's how close it was. Again, sorry to point finger at you, but this is discussion, and I'm sure that a lot of people are going to jump in and always attack me, like, oh, what are you talking about? Regan could be as high as second and as low as fourth. He could have. Yeah. If Nathan was in a second and third, I wouldn't complain at all, because Nathan was in very, very good condition throughout prejudging and finals. Didn't fade. Like I said, he has everything. I just particularly look for what is your frontal biceps, what is your lat spread, what side chest, side triceps, and I give points by in each poses. So I'm going to tell you now, if you look at this review again, look at the frontal spread of Regan, phenomenal. Side chest, super competitive. Back delts biceps, back lat spread, super competitive. Probably winning or being second right there. Yeah. Turning around into triceps, okay, but maybe you can lose there. But then abs and thighs, phenomenal, most muscular. So judges have a little bit different perspective, and they look, especially somebody like Steve Weinberger. Yeah, nothing passes by Steve. He catches everything. So if Steve gave Nathan a fourth place, he must be a reason.
I'm not saying that I know more about judging Steve Weinberger. Steve, don't get it twisted. I just, it's all a matter of opinion. Raphael, I love his physique, but I think he's a little bottom heavy. His legs overpower his upper body a little bit to me. He needs more size. He doesn't match up size wise with Nathan at all. You know, he's got a prettier structure, prettier aesthetic shape. He's got that classic look to him, but I know I don't want the whole country of Brazil to come after me.
They will.
They will. I know.
Brazilians very, very passionate about it.
They are.
I had even after the prejudging people, oh, no way Regan's going to beat Rafael.
They're great fans. They love their people.
Yeah.
They love their athletes.
I mean, I appreciate that, but no, it's just like, okay, matter of opinion, right? For me, yeah, Nathan could beat Rafael on the merits of size, structure, balance, right? As you said, Rafael has beautiful aesthetics, beautiful shape, but has a legs stronger than his upper body, and maybe front stronger than his back.
Yeah.
So conditioning was good. I don't see a major improvement in size in the last couple of years.
No.
And I was expecting that when somebody takes a full year off, he was training with Flex Lewis here in Vegas in Dragon's Lair gym. And I saw him improving. And then when he went back, I was really thinking that he's going to, pack major size. And I think if I understood Flex Lewis, that he's coming back to Vegas, he's going to, continue training, but he still needs to qualify. And I think he's doing Romania next week and possibly Alicante a couple of weeks later.
Yeah.
But I just talked to Samson, and Samson is not tired, and he's 60-40 in favor of going to Romania as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, why not? If he can win another show, why not? Because I don't think anyone's going to Romania that wasn't in this show that could beat him. Do you know anybody?
Yeah.
Who's going to Romania?
I mean, obviously, Samson won, so nobody beat him. So he's going to Romania that he beat everybody else. Rafael is going, I think. I'm going to have a phenomenal Iranian bodybuilder, Behruz Tabani. I mean, I'm really a big fan of his physique, and I can't wait to see him compete. I don't know who else is entering. Regan is defending champion, but I think I'm going to try to convince him not to compete because, listen, we all like to believe we are unbreakable and we can do it. But when no sleep accumulates, and I just said that his travel arrangements, I didn't mention, like I told you last time, he had the trouble getting from Reno to Denver, from Denver to Germany, delays. In Germany, he had to get another PCR test because his 72 hours expired, like 2 hours before that, and this kind of thing. Now, when he came back to, he had a travel issues with Egypt, and then he had travel issues with Prague, and then when he got to the Prague again, he had to hide for 4 hours in the airport to get some permission. So fans only see what is presented on the stage. They don't see behind the doors.
Well,
so
you mentioned Dubai. I don't think people realize that the day before Egypt, he was in Dubai working a booth the whole time, meeting fans and taking pictures and all that.
Yeah, 2 days in a row, but that was Wednesday, Thursday. Wow. And then Friday, Friday. I mean, he had 2 days in Egypt to focus on prep. Okay. And I mean, he is such a high-level professional. He was doing everything he needed to do. He was still waking up 5 o'clock in the morning, doing the cardio, doing a training, and even he did 2 workout sessions one day. Imagine working the boot from 9 to 5 and still training twice and doing a cardio. Yeah. Yeah.
I want to mention Ruli. His name is pronounced Ruli. They correct me on that all the time. I thought that 5th place was a gift for him. I didn't have him that high at all. I saw several guys that got, later call-outs than he did that I thought should have been placed ahead. Ruli needs to, I don't know what he needs to do. I don't know. I'm not his coach. I don't know what his lifestyle is like and all that, but man, he just needs to, I'm sure he's going to keep doing these shows, but he's looking worse and worse to me. I mean, the condition was just way off. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
I've seen him so much better. Yeah,
like you, I'm a big Ruli fan. I mean, when he was people's champ at Olympia. That was for a reason.
Yeah.
He had all the tools, and he won our classic in Australia. I mean, he's a pro champion, multiple times. I saw him first time this year in Chicago. We were expecting him to be a major contender, and he was not. I think he was fifth or something, or maybe he didn't even make a top five.
Yeah,
And off the stage, when he asked me, "What do you think?" and he's, you were just not conditioned, and you were not his old self. I mean, he was so powerful, so wide, full, right? Even when he was winning this Iron Classic, he managed to get his midsection tight, so there was not noticeable. Now, when he doesn't pay attention, you can see that the midsection is not there, and lack of flare in his quads, so it doesn't have a sweep in that X frame like you would expect it. So I'm not ashamed to say that he was gifted second place in San Marino. I mean, that was not right. And I think here again, when somebody is so established and liked and so massive, I mean, let's put it this way, he put the size back. Whatever he did, size was there. Like his monster, that crab, most muscular chest, shoulders, arms, I mean, triceps, lats. But as you said, conditioning was not there. So I would mention, I forget the name of the guy that plays sixth.
It was Jesus Martin Hernandez.
No, sixth was Jan Turek.
Oh, what?
From Czech Republic.
You sure?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Jesus was eighth.
Oh, wow. Okay, my vision.
And the seventh, I'm gonna be proud to say it's my countryman, Emir Omeragic, but he lives in Germany. I think he's representing Germany, but he's actually Yugoslavian, right?
Oh, okay.
It's a 22-year-old.
Wow.
What a great talent. I had a chance to work with him like a little bit for a while, and then he switched coaches. Now he's with Chris Aceto, I believe. Yeah.
Did you you also had this Kevin Gebhardt in the show, didn't you?
Yeah, I have a Kevin.
Yeah.
He plays 10. He was hoping he was going to make a top 10. Yeah, Kevin is showing up in good condition. He has this crazy back. I mean, really super impressive. But, he's top heavy, bottom light. He still needs to improve the legs. Mm-hmm. And in this lineup, when you have that and you don't have a perfect structure, that shape of small waist and sweeping thighs and X-frame, at this level, even conditioning and a strong body parts would not, get you to the top. This is still IBB Pro League and pro shows. So I would say that was impressive showing for Emir Omeragic. He was 22, in very good shape. As you can see from the back, he was magnificent, super strided, everything. He still needs the bigger legs and a little bit more polishment from the front, still more size. Yeah. I think he is also quite tall. But the Jan Turek from Czech Republic, representing the country, he was top 6, very good call and good condition. He still needs to, fill up the frame for a pro rank, to move up in placing, but it was very solid condition.
Fair enough. All right, let's talk a little bit about 212. At the Olympia, we were not very impressed with Ahmad Ashkenani at all. He's a former Arnold Classic champ. He was 2-time Olympia runner-up, but he was big and full, but just puffy and watery and kind of bloated looking at the Olympia. Not very detailed at all. But at this show, he got his condition back. What's it been, 4 weeks since the Olympia? Exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you this, and I agree with Fuad completely. After the prejudging, he was saying that he see Oleg from Ukraine. I can't really pronounce the last name.
I say Curvy. I don't know if that's correct.
Yeah. If this is even correctly spelled, because I think on Instagram is spelled here is Krybye, and I don't think that's right.
Was that on the score sheet? That's what it says.
Yeah, that's what it says. Yeah.
Yeah, because I follow him on Instagram.
He's going to be known as Oleg, and let me tell you, this guy. I mean, I watched him for several weeks. He was not peeled inside out. Yeah. What does it say on the Instagram?
He spells it Kryvyi. Yeah.
Same way. Okay, then I'm wrong. But did you see some of his update pictures going into the show?
Oh yeah.
He's skinless. I mean,
every fiber you could see. It was crazy.
yeah. No, this is next level conditioning. That's Andreas Munzer and I mean Hadi Chupan. So what he presented on the stage, if there was the first time I've seen him, I said, wow, very good condition. But when I see what he looked like normally, right, he actually didn't even nail the condition. But even without nailing condition, he was better than Ahmed Ashkanani in the prejudging, I thought.
Yeah.
I agree with many points that Fuad said. He was more complete, legs, especially from the front, legs from behind, legs from the side. It's shocking how Ahmed Ashkanani can have such a phenomenal side view, hamstring glutes off the chart. I mean, size-wise, separation, striations in the glutes, thickness, like, ooh. So for me, maybe just being an observer, when I would talk to Ahmed, I said, like, okay, the way you train legs, it's 1,000,000% guarantee. You're pushing from the whole foot, pushing from the heel and engaging hamstring rather than quad. Lift that heel off the platform, push from the ball of the foot, put on a quad, go super slow down, use no momentum, super slow up, start feeling that crazy burn on the quad. He's so massive, so experienced. And when you say you can't teach the old dog a new trick, he desperately needs it because he needs quads.
Yeah. Now,
at the finals, he showed up as majorly improved. Actually, in the whole show, Ahmed Ashkanani made the biggest jump from a prejudging conditioning to finals. He got fuller, he got drier, more vascular. I mean, it was like next level of polishment. At the finals, I saw him possibly beating Oleg. So now, if they judge prejudging in finals, and maybe Oleg was winning, he would have 3 points and Ashkanani 6, and now then they reverse it, they would be tied. Yeah. But by the score sheets, no, it was clearly, I guess, Ahmad. I thought it was Ahmad Ashkanani was clear winner in judges' eyes.
Did you notice that Ahmad's right quad seems to be a lot smaller than his left quad?
You and I made those comments at the EVLS Olympia, if you review it back there. Actually, at Olympia, there was a little bit bigger, and we were saying something happened and somehow inflamed. Yeah. So, when inflammation goes away, then you're left off with your regular one. But interestingly, he was putting that left leg in a position when guys obviously don't have a sweep on the thigh, and they position it like we would do maybe in an ab shot. Right. You turn so you can see sartorius and the lateralis. And this is, a clear sign to the judges that, okay, he realizes he doesn't have powerful legs, and he's trying just to, take the space, volumize it, and cheat it that way. But I don't think it's a good idea.
Well, yeah, it draws attention to it. Then they're saying, what are you trying to hide?
Admitting a weakness. Like, I would tell you, I'm not going to name the names, but okay, I'm going to even say for Oleg in this show. In many poses, he would cover the abs. They're like covering the abs to do the frontal biceps, covering the abs to do something. I mean, there is a few other pros that do this on the stage. You see, I don't want to name it because they're going to be insulted. We all know who they are. But when you're covering the abs this way, you think the judges don't know what you're doing? So instead, open up and learn how to keep your abs tight. I mean, seriously, because who are you fooling when it's obvious for 10, 15 seconds, you're there, you're covering. And especially to experienced judge like Steve Weinberger, that's not going to fly.
You're not fooling Steve. Nobody's fooling Steve Weinberg.
Nobody's
He's been around too long.
Yeah.
Third place from Bulgaria, Radoslav Angelov.
He was
massive little guy.
Yes, super impressive. Yeah, super impressive. Good conditioning, good physique, everything. Yeah, he was top heavy. He still needs to improve the legs. And it's not like they're weak. It's just like his upper body is ahead. So, of course, I would suggest him to prioritize both hamstrings and quads. Just pound it. You see, this is also maybe interesting topic. Nowadays, for some reason, all the people, all the guys, overtraining. Don't train once a week. Once a week is enough. Don't train twice. I would train legs 4 times a week.
Four times.
Hell yes.
God, there's only 7 days in a week.
Yeah, stimulate. You want to stimulate, you want to feed it, you do it correctly, you can do it. There's no such a thing as overtraining. All this recovery is so overrated. And as I said, you know that they said many times they're going to say, Milos, stop boring us with this. I did the 6 days a week, twice a day, for 15 years straight, pretty much. And I was never, I'm going to say never, but maybe twice a year, I could say like, okay, maybe I should now, take a, day off or just train once a day. But so for a guy like this, you're already at the pro level. You already placed 4th in a prestigious show.
Yeah.
How hungry are you going to get? So do you want to make a changes? And it's not same just training your whole body. If you have a major priorities to do, address your priorities. First thing that I learned about the judging, I remember coming 87 from Yugoslavia at the time, and there was the NPC and IVB judge in California, and I said, can you explain me how you judge? He says, first I look for weaknesses. So first, this is the number one thing, and then he looks for balance. Okay, because if you have weaknesses, you don't have a balance, right? Yeah. So it's a question. Like I'll give you an example of in Egypt Pro, Mohammed Shaban, right? He was actually quite upset. You see that he didn't win the contest, and I'm sure you read it. His oh my God, I should listen to his wife. Shouldn't do it because what? He's Egyptian, is going to go to Egypt after placing top 10 at Olympia, and he's not going to be judged fairly by Egyptian judges. Come on, so put things in perspective. But his crazy quads, crazy legs, okay, that's crazy. Yeah, should it be okay? And it doesn't have a calves to match. So now, if you look at the lower body and you look at the balance of the lower body, does it match? It's way off. Do you penalize it? You award it. We have a tendency to always like freaky body parts. So yeah, and I was saying also, he has a crazy, and I have to respect quad development because we all know what takes to develop those quads. Yeah. That's not leg extensions and leg presses. That's heavy squats, hack squats, and years of pounding those legs. But you see, it comes the point when your overdeveloped body part can affect something else, and you're not going to have a balance. So this is how I was saying for Radoslav. He needed to improve his legs, and I hope he really will do that. Then there was a Kuwaiti guy, Abdulrahman Al-Kashahti, right? Great physique. He was just not in condition. Great balance. Very aesthetic, huge future, and you just need greater conditioning. And then Petar Kovac was 5th from Slovakia, rounding up top 5. So
the calf thing. People ask me all the time, do calves matter? And I don't honestly know if they do or don't, because I'm going to get everyone mad at me. Rami's calves are nowhere near as developed as quads. Rami's quads they take up a whole stage. They're ridiculous. He would need like 23, 24-inch calves to match those.
Yeah, you just got me because I was saying about Mohammed Shaban, but you pointed out the Mr. Olympia winner. And if you just look at Rami's calves, they're good calves, by all means. But because of that craziness that he developed in this lateralis that he's going all over the place. It's this balance. Now you say calves don't matter. For Arnold Schwarzenegger, calves matter the most. In the last probably 15 years, every commentary, everything that he talks about is about the calves.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get that interesting point of view. You know how Arnold, in the beginning of his career, was hiding his calves. Reportedly, he was saying himself he would go into the river and take the picture from a knee up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, how long did it take him to develop crazy calves?
Well, he supposedly went down to visit Reg Park in South Africa, and Reg showed him how to train calves correctly. He came back to California. He cut the bottom. He cut all his sweatpants off at the knee, so he would always have his calves showing. Did they not have shorts back then? Anyway, so yeah, I guess it took him like a year or two to go from no calves to these big monstrous calves. And I think that was a different era. Calves were probably more important then because they were still going by that old ideal, like with Steve Reeves, where your neck, your upper arm, and your calves were all supposed to be the same. So if you had these massive arms like Arnold did, and then you needed big calves to balance those out. But the guys didn't have those massive quads back then either.
Yeah, especially, Arnold, back in the day, Serge Nubret, 70s, right? There was a kind of a little bit different ideal. So we all love Serge Nubret, but when you look at his legs, really, they're undeveloped in comparison to 80s, 90s, and now. Right. Arnold Schwarzenegger, his legs don't match his upper body, and that's the greatest bodybuilder of all time. Right. For many people. But what I was just trying to intrigue, a few people now, can you really build the calves in 1 to 2 years? You know how many competitors I had in the last 20 years that don't have a calves, and we did everything and anything in a book for a calves. So I have a little question mark about Arnold making those calves in California or whatever, and that story. It sounds a great story, but did you witness it? That he cut off all the pants because the shorts were not available, and basically telling everybody, hey, please look at my calves. I don't have them, so I'm going to develop them. Calves is probably the hardest muscle to develop, even though they're going to say physiology, you stimulate. You are on the calves all day long, every day since you start walking, right? So I really think that it's genetic thing. If you have it, you have it. If you don't, you don't. And then if you start training them initially and they respond, great. But if you train everything and develop everything else and calves are lacking, and then all of a sudden in a year or two, they grew magically, it's a big question mark for me. I'm not idealist, I'm a little skeptic.
Were they doing implants back then, back in the 70s? Like silicone or something, I guess.
Yep. But so if you tell me, would you bet your life? I wouldn't. Therefore, I'm not relevant, and I shouldn't be talking. But I think it's interesting thing. Like we can start this discussion on the comments below, right? You're gonna say, seriously. Let's face it. How many people realize that Lou Ferrigno had a calf implants?
They looked like footballs. They weren't even shaped right. They were a very odd shape. Like a football is shaped. To me, that's what his calves look like when he got those. It's funny because did anybody ever?
It was noticeable from the airplane.
Right.
Okay. So the thing that maybe you don't know, Sean Ray complained, and he was disqualified. Yeah.
Well, I remember Sean complaining about Flex Wheeler's calves.
Yeah.
And he wanted Wayne DeMilia to go X-ray them, and I think they did, didn't they? I think they did.
There was something, but for Lou Ferrigno, that was obvious, and so you can imagine that Joe Weider was in the equation because So if it's something that is allowed to one guy, why wouldn't be for the other one? It's just like they probably didn't have the same surgeon.
Well, guys were like shooting up with Esiclin back then, just in temporarily inflaming their calves, weren't they?
I did. I'm not in the calves. I did biceps, triceps. I'm guilty of it. For Mabalone, it was wonderful. Really. And it's a honestly, maybe it's not good to say on the MD report, but I'm surprised that this is not available. That somebody that is manufacturing is on manufacturing that thing, because that was the most popular thing back in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
You know, for Mabalone.
It was temporary. It went away, right? After a few days.
Yeah, but 2-3 days. How temporary do you want it?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
For one day.
That sounds good to me because, my triceps suck. They're horrible, but I never would put Synthol in them. I remember what happened to you. I've seen too many things happen to too many people. I don't want something that's going to be in my body forever. So, if that was an option to me, something like it's Esicline. Is that the same thing we're talking about?
Yeah, that was Esicline. That was actually anabolic steroid for Mabalone, and the way it was prepared in that Spa Milano pharmacy back in the day, they had something that also would inflame, but inflame and make the muscle look harder, not softer.
Oh, wow.
And again, I'm not embarrassed, and I'm ashamed for doing it. A lot of people point finger at me. Yes, I ruined my career, by using Synthol. They definitely deformed my arms. I never had a great arms, but I could pass. And then I decided I want to, a shortcut, sell my soul to the devil, get the 22.5-inch arms that look like a bricks, not even normal. It was abnormal shape. Right. And, it created fibrotic necrotic tissue and atrophy. So for all the guys, they're listening and they think, oh, well, let me use the site injections and let me use Synthol and stuff like that. It's the worst thing you can ever do. If you can get away initially, all right, which happened to me initially, it was not so noticeable. I get the inch. Then what do? Oh, maybe I should do a little bit more. So I had 1.5 inches. And this is, how it goes. But it's not muscle. And again, if you're into physiology and then you listen to explanation, oh yeah, it binds to your fiber or whatever bullshit they're going to serve you, Yeah. It can also grow your hair and your other parts.
Really? Oh boy.
No, it did, but I tried all of those. The thing is, really, it doesn't work, and don't be ignorant. Don't put anything in your body that it shouldn't be there.
Fair enough. Well, we went off on a lot of tangents. Calves, Synthol, Esicline. Wow. We were just supposed to be talking about Prague, but I just want to congratulate you again, because Samson has been so close to winning several shows now, and he finally got his win. Great job with Samson. Great job with Regan. I'm very excited to see what goes on with Regan now, moving forward, now that he shut it down. Now he can improve and grow like I've been waiting for him to do for a couple of years now. Great job, Milos. Congratulations.
I'm going to use this opportunity. John Meadows saw Samson qualifying for Miss Olympia. When they start working together, and you can hear that speech somewhere in internet, I heard it when John was clearly talking about Samson, you're going to be on Miss Olympia, and I'm going to see you there. Unfortunately, he's not going to see him, but after John died, Samson was really lost and contacted me, and he was pretty much ready to quit, and he said, I'm completely lost. Can you help me? And I said, look, John was my favorite person in the industry. Of course I'm going to do it. And this is why he collapsed. I can cry right now. I know what Samson felt. That was for John. Yeah. And speaking of that, I mean, my God, we have lost Sean Roden today. Yes. I was in the middle of watching the prejudging, and I got the text. So now I imagine I'm watching the prejudging, and this is like, in our industry, there is a lot of rumors before, especially in the 90s. I mean, I was reported dead like several times. Nasser somebody had like 5 deaths before. And so you were just hoping it's one of those things. But unfortunately, no, it's heartbreaking. Sean, the whole industry is with your daughter right now, with the family condolences. It's tremendous loss. I don't know how it happened. I can only assume there's a heart condition. He had some issues before, and
I heard. Did you hear he had 2 small heart attacks last year?
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah.
I mean, I keep hearing heart attack. It's not confirmed. We're talking now, guys, on a Saturday evening. It's still afternoon for you in Vegas, but this is just the day it happened. This is probably going to go up. This will go up Monday morning, but I'm guessing it was a heart attack. I mean, man, but we're losing so many people now. It's insane. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I saw him just 2 weeks ago. I just posted that picture of me and Reagan. And, you know, one thing about Sean, I mean, oh my God, he would always make a point. Every conversation that I hear him talk to anyone, to encourage, to push, to motivate. And to, I mean, he would always come up to me and to say how I was his inspiration, how, you know, this is that camaraderie and sportsmanship. And I'm very vocal about this. I'm still bummed about IBB taking of rights from him to compete in that IBB Olympia until that case was settled. It was wrong. If you look at Cristiano Ronaldo, you know, Neymar, is major superstars in soccer, and Conor McGregor, or, you know, you are naming the top sportsmen of the planet in the respective sports,
Right.
and they didn't have their right to compete and earn a living taken away from. And we all agree that Sean Roden, probably in the last couple of Olympia competitions, would have a chance to repeat.
Yeah.
You know, because he would present a different package,
Right.
and the crazy conditioning, and God knows what would happen. But forever, he's going to go in the books for number 14. And God bless his soul.
Yeah, I mean, it's irrelevant. The titles he would have won. It's a life is lost. That's the important thing. But I still think it's very possible he would have won again at least once more. I feel he would have. It's weird because I had this feeling that he was never going to compete again, and I don't know. I was just sure of it, and it wasn't necessarily because of the legal case. I just said something tells me I'm never going to see Sean Roden on stage again. And
Oof.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I just had this. I didn't know that something necessarily like this was going to happen, but I said, I know I'm never going to see this guy on stage again. I just know it. And sure
I
enough,
mean, he moved to Vegas. He started training very seriously. He put the weight on. I don't know if you've seen some of the training video footages. I mean, he was going super heavy, and you know, so I'm 100% sure that he was planning to return, and he was hoping probably that that case is going to be over,
right.
and then he would move on, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, life is fleeting, guys. Life is fleeting. Anyway, yeah, I hate to end on a downer note, but that's it's important that we recognize Sean Roden, a great champion, a great ambassador, encouraged and motivated so many people everywhere he went for years and years. We lost another great one. This year has just been, oh my God, 2021 has just been. I thought 2020, it couldn't get worse than 2020, but man, this year has been rough. Anyway, Milos, thank you so much for taking the time. Like I said, I know you've been up a very long time again. You're a great coach. You stay up for days on end, days and nights with little or no sleep, you know, checking in on your guys, making sure everything's progressing correctly with their carb loading and drying out and all that good stuff. So congratulations on Samson. Congratulations on Regan. And on to the next one in Romania next week, I guess.
Yes. So I guess we're going to be talking again after the show. I'm going to have another sleepless night. Yeah, because it looks like I'm going to have at least a couple of guys competing. Actually, 3 again, because Kevin Gebhardt is going to do it again.
Okay.
And yeah, so we go from there. But thank you, Ron. I love doing this reviews. As you know, I don't have a problem expressing my opinion. And yeah, I really thought to you know, put a stamp on this, that Samson greatly deserved this. For me, there was no question.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw possibly Nathan squeezing in as a best condition of the year for him. He was quite impressive. But after the prejudging, and when I analyzed pose by pose, I start kind of seeing how Steve Weinberger sees. You know, so imagine. So pay attention. He needs to put them in order, and you already know by the way, this is his first impression. Okay, now you have a couple of poses to prove him wrong. And if you proved him wrong, okay, he would change you even in the last pose, which happened even today. So you have abdominals and thighs, and then you have a most muscular, right?
Your
So
favorite
they
most
were
muscular.
changing,
Yeah.
yeah. And by positioning, Nathan was not there. He was not in the middle. So the mostly was Samson and Regan. So I had very good hopes for Regan that he is still there. Beginning of prejudging, he was great. I was super happy. Then when it started fading and he wiped off the color and everything, then I was afraid that this would affect him. So, you know, when you sweat out so much fluid, you try to rehydrate him a little bit. And I kind of overdid it. So it was, I am not afraid to admit it was my miscalculation a little bit. So I didn't deliver him on the set, but I needed him to be full because he was fading. And so there's just so many things that you can do, right? So plan was to refill him and maybe at the end dehydrate him, but they actually didn't even try to dehydrate it, just load him for the finals.
Cool. Well, cool, man. Yeah, you got another big weekend coming up. So
yeah,
I'll let you go, guys. I want to remind you, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, make sure your notifications are set to always, so you know when we come out with great videos like this, talking to Milos, great video. And that's it. We appreciate your viewership. Milos, I appreciate you doing these. And that's it. For Ron Harrison,
thank you,
Milos
Ron.
Sarcev, we'll see you next time.
Next time.